primary elections yesterday, progressive Democratic candidates say they are optimistic about the outcome of key primary elections held just yesterday. Hundreds of thousands of people voted in New York and Kentucky, where there were long lines of cars outside many polling places. Now, we may not know the results for days because the pandemic caused a surge in absentee and mail-in ballots. Ed O'Keefe is covering campaign 2020 for us. Ed, good morning. So we don't know the results. What do we know? What did we learn?
Well, what we learned, Tony, is that election nights in America are quickly turning into election weeks as we await those kinds of results. And as we do wait, it looks like two New York City congressmen who lead key House committees are fighting for their political lives. In one closely watched race, educator Jamal Bowman currently leads 16-term incumbent Eliot Engel, the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Bowman has surged in recent weeks thanks in part to the increased attention on racial justice nationwide. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney, who represents part of Manhattan, she leads the House Oversight Committee and holds just a narrow lead over Suraj Patel, a younger liberal opponent that she defeated back in 2018. In Kentucky, the Democratic Senate primary remains a toss-up between moderate Amy McGrath and liberal State Representative Charles Booker, who also surged in recent weeks thanks to increased focus on the case of Breonna Taylor in Louisville. They're competing to take on Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell in November. And the primaries were held on the same day that former President Barack Obama and former Vice President Joe Biden held their first joint fundraiser. During the event, Mr. Obama warned Democrats not to take the election for granted and criticized President Trump.
We can't be complacent or smug or sense that somehow it's so obvious that this president hasn't done a good job. Because, look, he won once. And it wasn't like we didn't have a good clue as to how he was going to operate the last time.
The Biden campaign says it raised about $11 million last night. That's its best one-day haul. Gail, there are just 132 days left until Election Day.
But who's counting, Ed O'Keefe? Who's counting? We're all paying attention. Thank you. Always good to see you, Mr. O'Keefe.